So, how about that new Powerpuff Girl, eh? Bliss. And immediately the first thing that comes to my mind is Lightning Bliss. But I digress. I have yet to watch her character introduction, so I don't know if it's anything special or not. I'm mostly just going off of Shadow Streak's video here, but I think, from the perspective of an outsider, the introduction of Bliss spells trouble. Do any of you remember The Fairly Odd Parents and how it just kept trying to add in character after character in a desperate plea to make it relevant? Well, that show has had 10 seasons total. Powerpuff Girls has only had 2 seasons, and already they feel like they need to add in an extra character to make them feel more relevant. Which I guess worked. Everybody's talking about it. And I'm not helping. Yes, this is clearly one of those Life of Brian, what's the word I'm looking for? Ploys? Yeah. One of those Life of Brian-esque ploys where they clearly have very few intentions of continuing with this kind of change. Like, I don't doubt we're going to see Bliss, once or twice in a future episode, but I have doubts that we're going to see her very often. And, that's the thing. It's not the fact that you decided to add in another character that, really irks a lot of people. It's the fact that the character you've added, you clearly don't have much plans for. In 5 episodes, her conflict is she can't control powers, and by one of the episodes' end, she can. Bravo. Move over, Steven Universe. You don't need any of that complex character shit. Stand aside, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Fuck yourself, SpongeBob. See, here's the thing about Bliss. It's, in principle, I should be okay with this. In principle. The reason I'm not okay with it is because, well, A, this is an established franchise. It's already had 1 television series, 1 movie, and a toy line. When you add in a new character in an established franchise, it literally means, well, not literally, but it pretty much says to me that you do not understand this franchise well enough to tell stories with the cast of characters that it already provides. G4 can sort of get away with it because it is a plot-driven show, and it is different enough from the previous generations of MLP to really be considered its own entity. But then, the Powerpuff Girls right now has only had 3 incarnations, 2 of which have been released in America. It is not a show that you can get away with adding in new characters unless you make it so different that it can be considered its own identity. It can be considered its own show, like the anime Powerpuff Girls Z or Z. And the other thing it spells for me, the other reason I'm not okay with it is because Bliss does not seem like a character who is designed to really do anything in the series. People hate Starlight Glimmer from Friendship is Magic, but honestly, the worst thing about her is that she's just not that interesting. She at least has a point in the series. Bliss doesn't seem to have that point outside of, hey, we're introducing a new Powerpuff Girl. Be excited! Which, they tried to do last year with, hey, we're making a new Powerpuff Girls series. Be excited! Which, of course, I wasn't. And I wasn't excited for Bliss. Of course, there are a couple things I can comment on without having seen the episodes, and honestly, I know a lot of people don't like her design, but I honestly don't mind it. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I just spend way too much time in character creators, but Yeah, I honestly kind of like Bliss's design. Although I am just a sucker for weird, ethereal colored hair. And I do like the shade of blue that they use. And I don't know. Her design just is kind of appealing to me. Granted, I do have issues with those legs. Like, damn. It's like almost Jessica Rabbit proportions when you really think about it. She shouldn't be able to support herself. Those legs are way too big for her teeny tiny body. But yeah, like, I honestly don't mind her color scheme that much either. I know that it's probably not a good attempt at ethnic diversity, like, say, Steven Universe is, or, in some respects, My Little Pony. But, I don't honestly see a whole lot of pale white people with bright blue hair. Maybe if I give it some more time, I might have more negative things to say about the design, but honestly, I don't hate it. I mean, she's not my favorite design in animation. Hell, she's not even my favorite design in the franchise. But, you know, I don't hate it. Then there's also her backstory, which apparently she was the original Powerpuff Girl. Retconning! More retconning than Rogue One, a Star Wars story. But yeah, honestly, I think the big problem is that Bliss does not spell anything good out for the show. The show has barely been out for a year at this point. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less, but around there. And already they feel the need to have to introduce in a new character. The Powerpuff Girls 2016 is near death. Let's just hope they have a spectacular finale. I'm the Entity of Darkness. Fare thee well.